Otaku here. We're going to be getting back into it, page 316, The Grapes of Wrath, at paragraph 3. I'll watch them out the door, that's where we're at. Before we begin, please read my channel description if you haven't. If you've been here before, get ready for the next part because we're about to clink. Grab your eucalyptus, and we're about to begin the inhalation ritual. Clink, clink, clink. I try to pull out different outfits. This one's no different. The fan's going on because it's a little bit hot in this jacket, but if it wasn't, I'd be pulling little smoke tricks out for y'all. Alright, and please do not forget water. These sessions do get intense, but if we don't have any water, I also have something special for myself. A Mario World Galaxy Capri Sun Edition. I think that should be backwards. It should be Capri Sun Mario Kart World Edition. Bam. Alright. We'll touch on that later. Let's get into it. Yeah, page 316 of The Grapes of Wrath. Ma watched them out the door, and then she looked about the room. She went to the slow closets and looked in. She walked in the wash basins, and ran her finger over the white porcelain. She turned the water on a little and held her fingers in the stream and jerked her hand away when the water became too hot. For a moment she regarded the basin, and then, setting the plug, she filled a bowl of little from the hot faucet, a little from the cold, and then she washed her hands in the warm water, and she washed her face. Apologies. And then she washed her hands in the warm water, and then she washed her face. She was brushing water through the hair with her fingers when a step sounded on the concrete floor behind her. Swung around. An elderly man stood looking at her with an expression of righteous shock. He said harshly, "How'd you come in here?" ? Ma gulped, and then she felt the water drip from her chin and soak through her dress. I didn't know," she said apologetically. "I thought this here was for folks to use." The elderly man frowned on her. "For men folks," he said sternly. He walked to the door and pointed to a sign on it that said men. "There," he said. "That proof, didn't you see that?" ? "No," Ma said in shame. "I never seen that. And they a place where I could go? ? The man's anger departed. "You just come in?" He asked this one kindly. "Middle of the night," Ma said. "Then you ain't talked to the committee? ? "What committee?" ? "Why, the ladies' committee," he said. "No, I didn't," Ma said. And he proudly, "The committee will call on you pretty soon and fix you up. They'll take care of the folks that just come in. Now, if you want a ladies' toilet, you can just go to the other side of the building. That side's yours." It's spelled like Y-O-U-R-N, so besides your, it's yours. Ma said uneasily, "You say the ladies' committee come to my tent? ? He nodded his head. "Pretty soon, I guess. They always come every morning for the new people." "Thank you," Ma said excitedly. She hurried out and ran out to the tent. "Paul," she said. "John, get up. You too, Al. Get up and go get washed." Startled sleepily awake, looking over at her. "All of you," Ma cried out. "You go and get your faces washed and comb your hair?" Uncle John looked pale and sick. There was a red bruised place on his chin. Yeah, because you want to be a fucking drunk and not listen. Paul demanded. What's the matter? Question mark. The committee, Ma said. There's a committee of ladies. Committee of coming today, and they're gonna visit us. Get up now and go get washed. And while we was sleeping and snoring, Tom went out and found work. Go on and get now. They came sleepily out of the tents. Uncle John staggered a little and his face was pained. Ugh. Get over to the house and wash up, Ma ordered. We got to get breakfast and be ready for the committee. She went to a little pile of split wood on the camp lot. She started a fire and put up her cooking irons. Pone, she said to herself, pone and gravy. That's quick. Gotta be quick. She talked on to herself, and Ruthie and Whitefield stood by wondering. They're kids. They don't know. One moment, please, as I take care of some very important business. I returned. We're going along pretty well now. Let me make sure I don't lose this page. Yeah, right here. Fourth paragraph of page 316. 317. Quickly. As we go about these sessions, I'm going to be discovering new things I like, things I don't like. We're going to be experimenting overall. That's never going to quit. One thing I just found that I enjoyed is every time I end up smoking on here, I should ring the clink as many times as I smoke. So like the first time it would just be, and then the second time it will be, and if we get to a third, fourth, or fifth, it'll be. Sounds pretty cool to me. I always like graduations. You know, graduation of something to continue growing. That's very important in life. That's very important in people. That's very important in interactions overall. If you don't really find yourself in a place where people are growing eventually, you might be in the wrong pond, my friend, because we're all supposed to be going upward. Or at least the intention is hoping for that. Some people don't even have the opportunity to go upward. God bless that I do. Or I hope I do, because I'm damn well trying to. The Joel family, they're good at graduations. They figure out what situation they're in, and then they act accordingly. In a good way, too, at that. Their minds are always, besides Tom, but he's always trying to do good, but he's always trying to equal out the chaos that is always being stricken upon them. Just like that freaking lot owner that sat there was trying to charge them extra for that camp. Tom thought that was wrong, messed up of him, and he gave him a little bit of help for it because he threw that rock at his house and they were having a good laugh as they drove off. Well, who's to say that that man truly deserved that? Maybe he's just completely entitled to doing what he's doing and does wrong for messing with them. But the truth of the matter is, we all could use a little hand in life, and if it was just the wrong timing, then that's just how it is. But in Tom's opinion, that man was just being stubborn, cynical, and greedy. You know, fucking penny pinching ass nigga doesn't want to fucking let me and two other dudes that we've already paid for this lot to come and stay, all just because we got another car. Fuck off. To measure it by cars now. Like, I'm pretty sure that was on no sign when they came in there. Yeah, if you got an extra car, you got to pay more money. He just wanted to try to upcharge. Alright, let's get back into it. It tastes amazing. The kush I got for myself for my birthday. By the way, my birthday was yesterday. Happy belated birthday to me, Adam. I know that sounds kind of weird, but to anybody that's also wishing me birthday in this video, I appreciate that. If not, go fuck yourself. If you don't, go fuck yourself. Hopefully you fuck something nasty and you get some kind of disease on your genitals. Anyways, let's get back into it. Chapter. The smoke and the morning fires arose all over the camp, and the mutter and talk came from all sides. Rosa Sharon, unkempt and sleepy-eyed, crawled out of the tent. Ma turned to the cornmeal, and she was measuring by fistfuls. She looked at the girl's wrinkled, dry dress, and she fuzzled uncombed hair. "You got to get cleaned up," she said briskly. "Go right over and clean up. I got a clean dress for you. I washed it. Get your hair combed, get the seeds out of your eyes." Ma was excited. I never thought about calling those little morning things in your eyes seeds. That's pretty interesting. Rosa Sharon said sullenly, "I don't feel good. I wish Connie was here. I don't feel like doing nothing without Connie." Ma turned full around on her. The yellow cornmeal clung to her hands and wrists. "Rosa Sharon," she said sternly, "you get upright. You just been moping enough. There's a ladies' committee a-coming, and the family's going to be frowny when they get here." "But I don't feel good," Rosa Sharon said. Ma advanced to her, mealy hands held over her. "Get," Ma said. There's times when how you feel got to be kept to yourself." Fucking to that, Ma. That's the most beautiful thing I ever heard. There's times when how you feel got to be kept to yourself. "I'm a-going to vomit," Rosa Sharon whined. "Well, go on and vomit. Of course you're gonna vomit. Everybody does when they're pregnant. Get on over and then get cleaned up. And you wash your legs and put them shoes on yours." She turned back to her work. "And braid your hair, please," she said. A frying pan of grease spun over the fire, and it splashed and hissed when Ma dropped the pan in with a spoon. She mixed flour with the grease in a kettle and added water and salts and stirred the gravy. The coffee began to turn over in the gallon can, and the smell of coffee rose from it. Paul wandered back from the sanitary unit, and Ma looked critically up. Paul said, "You said Tom's got work? ? I feel like I could make Paul's voice a little more harsher. "You said Tom's got work? ? "Yes, sir. He went out before we woke. Now look in that box and give me some clean overalls and a shirt. Get you some clean overalls and a shirt. And Paul, I'm awfully busy. You go and get Ruthie and Winefield's ears clean. There's hot water. Will you do that for me?" Scrounge around to their own goods and at their necks. "Would you do that for me? Scrounge around in their good ears and their necks. Get them red and shiny." "Never seen you so bubbly," Paul said. Ma cried, "This here's the time the family gets to look decent. Coming around and there wasn't no chance, but now we can. Throw your dirty overalls in the tent and I'll wash them later." Paul went inside the tent, and for a moment he came out with pale blues, washed overalls, and a shirt on, and he led the sad and startled children towards the sanitary unit. I love Ma. Ma's such an amazing person. We only got about 11 minutes left onto this video, but I want to clink a little bit and drink a little bit, so... Okay, I'd like to see what's coming up next. Ma called after him. "Scrounge around good in them ears." Uncle John came to the door on the men's side and looked out, and then he went back and sat on the toilet for a long time and held his aching head in his hands. Ma had taken up a pan load of brown pone and was... What is pone? I need to go look that up. And was dropping spoons of dough in the grease for a second pan when a shadow fell on the ground beside her. She looked over her shoulder. A little man dressed in all white stood beside her. A man with a thin, brown, lined face and merry eyes. He was lean as a picket. I like that. His white, clean clothes was frayed all the seams. It was frayed at the seams. He smiled at Ma. "Good morning," he said. Ma looked at his white clothes and his face hardened with suspicion. "Morning. Are you Mrs. Joel?" I'm going to give him a very distinguished voice. "Yes." "Well, I'm Jen Rowley. I'm camp manager. Just dropped by to see if everything's all right. Got everything you need? Question mark. Ma studied him suspiciously. Yeah, even the voice I gave him is pretty suspicious. He sounds too calm during these times. "Yes," she said. Rowley said, "I was asleep when you came in last night. Lucky we had a place for you." His voice was warm. Ma said simply, "That's nice, especially them wash tubs. You wait till the women get to wash. Pretty soon now, you never heard such a fuss, like a meeting. Know what they did yesterday, Mrs. Jewell? They had a chorus, singing a hum tune and rubbing the clothes all the time. That was something to hear, I tell you." The suspicion was going out of Ma's face. "Must have been nice. You the boss? Question mark. "No," he said. "The people here worked me out of a job. They kept the camp clean. They kept order. They did everything. I never seen such people. They're making clothes in the meeting halls, and they're making toys for the children. Never saw such people do that." Ma looked down at her dirty dress. "We ain't clean yet," she said. "You just can't keep clean as traveling," she continued on. Don't I know it, he said. He sniffed the air. "Say, is that your coffee smells so good?" Ma smiled. "It does smell nice, don't it? Outside it's always smelled nice." And she said proudly, okay, I was just making sure it was her speaking on this next part. "We'd take it in your honor if you'd have some breakfast with us, Mr. Manager." He came to the fire and squatted on his hams. I love how they call them but the hams. And at the last, mob resistance went down. "We'd be proud to have you," she said. "We ain't got much, that's nice, but you're more than welcome." See, this is what the fuck I'm talking about. Not everybody would do something like this. People would sit there and be like, "Oh, cool, great, thanks, bye." Some people are like that in the world. This family's hospitality, their hospitality is very genuine. It's a lovely thing to see. Even in fiction, I don't give a fuck. This is like the most non-fiction fiction book I ever read. Alright, clink, clink, clink. Well, that was the fourth time technically, but because we didn't ring it the third time, I went ahead and did that. Clink, clink, clink. I'm just fucking with you. The little man grinned at her. "I had my breakfast, but I'd sure like a cup of that coffee. Smells so good." Why, sure," Ma said. "Don't hurry yourself now." Ma poured a tin cup of coffee from a gallon can. She said, "We ain't got no sugar. Maybe we'll get some today. If If you need sugar, it won't taste good. Never use sugar, he said. It spoils the taste of a good coffee. Well, I'd like a little sugar, said Ma. She looked at him suddenly and closely to see how he had come so close so quickly. She looked for motives on his face and found nothing but friendliness. Then she looked at the frayed seams on his white coat and she was reassured. He spitted the coffee. He sipped. Wow, I'm really bad. He sipped the coffee. Spitted. I kept flipping the P in the I. I apologize. I guess the ladies will be here to see you this morning. We ain't clean, Ma said. They shouldn't be coming till we get all cleaned up a little. But they know how it is, the manager said calmly. They come in the same way. No, sir, the committees are good to this camp because they do know. He finished his coffee and stood up. Well, I got to go on. Anything you want, why, you come over to the office. I'm there all the time of the day. Great coffee. Thank you. He put the cup on the box and with the others waved his hand and walked down the lines of tents. And Ma heard him speaking to the people as he went. Ma put down her head and she fought with the desire to cry. Paul came back leading the children. Wait, why does Mom want to cry? Maybe that was just a really blissful moment for her to speak with somebody so righteous. I don't know, this man's full of tensions, but from what Mom just took at him, she went from full-on alert to being talked down and leveled with that man. And then he just takes off. I like that. Alright, we got 3 more minutes. I can finish a page. Where the heck am I? Mom put her head down and she fought the desire to cry. Paul came back leading the children. Their eyes were wet with pain and the ears scrounging. They were subdued and shining. The sunburned skin on Winefield's nose was scrubbed off. There, Paul said. Got dirt and 2 layers of skin. Had to almost lick him to make him stand still. Aw, he almost hit them. Ma praised them. They look nice, she said. Help yourself to pone and gravy. We gotta get stuff on the way and get the tent in order. Paul served plates to the children and for himself. Wonder where Tom got work? ? I don't know. Well, if he can, we can. Al came excitedly to the tent. What a place! Al's part of the family, so he got to get a rough voice. What a place, he said. He helped himself and poured coffee. Know what this fella doing? He's building a house trailer right over there. Back of them tents, got beds and a stove, everything, just living in her. By God, that's a way to live. Right where you stop, that's where you live. Ma said, I'd rather have a little house. As soon as we can, we want a little house. She hugged onto Paul. Paul said, Al, after we get her, and you and me and Uncle John will take the truck and go out looking for work. Al's already found work. Sure, said Al. I'd like to get a job in garage if there's any. That's what I really like. And get a little old cut down Ford. Paint her yellow and go on canoeing around. See a pretty girl down the road, give her a big wink, too. Pretty as hell. Like literally he just went. Al said. Paul said sternly, you better go get some work before you go tomcatting around. Uncle John came out of the toilet and moved slowly near. Ma frowned at him. He ain't lost, she began, and then she saw how sick and weak and sad he looked. You go on in the tent and lay down, she said. You ain't looking well. He shook his head. No, I've sinned, and I gotta take my punishment. He squatted down, Hold up. Oh, damn, we were close to the edge. Disconsolately, He squatted down disconsolately and poured himself a cup of coffee. Ma took the last pong to the pan and she said casually, "The manager of the camp came and set a cup of coffee down." Ma said, "Wow, we're not going to make it in time for the pace then." The manager of the camp came and had a cup of coffee. Paul looked over slowly. "Yeah? Question mark? Well, what's he want already? Question mark." "Just coming to pass the time," Ma said daintily. "Just set it down, had a coffee. Said he can't get, good coffee so often. Smelled ours." "What'd he want?" Paul demanded again. "Didn't want nothing. Come on and see how we was going on." "I don't believe it," Paul said. "He probably was a snoring and smelling around." "He was not," Ma cried angrily. "I could tell there was a fella snoring around and quick as the next person." Alright, that's where I'm calling it. Y'all take care. Peace.